Hey there, ready to dive into a world where rhythm meets poetry, art spills onto the streets, and every beat tells a story.
Sounds exciting.
You got it. We're talking hip-hop. We've got a fascinating article here from Stage Music Center.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's titled Hip Hop, A Cultural Revolution. And we're going, beyond just the catchy hooks.
Right.
To explore how hip hop became a global force.
I'm ready.
Influencing everything from fashion to language itself.
It's a movement that started as a local expression, but quickly resonated with people across cultures and continents. It's truly remarkable.
I know, right? The article defines hip hop pretty simply as a language of expression, struggle, and celebration.
Yeah.
But what's super interesting is that it all began back in the 1970s in the Bronx, New York City.
Okay.
Specifically within Black and Latino communities. That origin story is key, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Understanding those roots is crucial.
Yeah.
Hip-hop's emerged from a place where voices weren't always heard, where struggles were real and often overlooked. It became a way to express those experiences, to reclaim power through creativity, and to celebrate resilience in the face of adversity.
So this wasn't just about music, was it? It was about finding a voice.
Exactly.
And building a community.
And that's where the four elements come in. It's fascinating how hip-hop took shape not just through music, but through a fusion of different art forms.
Okay, let's unpack these four elements. I've heard the term before.
Sure.
But refresh my memory. What are they exactly?
Well,
and how did they become the pillars of hip-hop culture?
You've got MCing, which is basically rapping. The rhythmic delivery of lyrics over a beat.
Right.
Then there's DJing, the art of manipulating sounds and creating those infectious grooves that get everyone moving.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't forget breakdancing, that explosive form of dance that's all about energy and improvisation.
Yeah.
Finally, there's graffiti art, the visual expression of hip-hop, bringing color and style to the streets.
Wow, so it's like a perfect storm of creativity, words, music, movement, and visual art. All coming together. I'm already starting to see how this went beyond just a genre of music.
And it's incredible how each element evolved alongside the others, feeding off each other's energy.
Yeah.
You can't really separate them. They're all intertwined.
You mentioned DJing. The article talks about this guy, DJ Kool Herc.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing block parties in the Bronx back in the 70s. Can you tell us more about that?
DJ Kool Herc is considered a founding father of hip-hop for a reason. He was a master at isolating and extending the instrumental breaks in funk and soul records, creating these extended grooves that got people dancing for hours.
Wow.
Those block parties became legendary. A breeding ground for all four elements to come together and create something truly special.
Can you imagine being at one of those parties? It must have been electric. But hold on, the article also mentions something that I think a lot of people get mixed up.
Yeah.
The difference between hip-hop and rap. Can you clear that up for us?
It's a common confusion. Think of it this way. Hip-hop is the larger cultural movement. The tree, if you will.
Okay.
Rap is one of the branches, the rhythmic and rhyming speech that's a central part of hip-hop music.
That's a great analogy. So rap is part of hip-hop.
Yeah.
But hip-hop encompasses so much more.
Exactly. And what makes this tree so unique is its constant evolution. Hip-hop's like a chameleon, always adapting and reinventing itself.
Right.
Which is why it's remained relevant for decades.
The article highlights a few things that make hip-hop stand out.
Okay.
One that caught my eye was its emphasis on self-expression and storytelling. That seems pretty different from a lot of other genres.
It is. Unlike genres that prioritize polished production or catchy melodies, hip-hop has always been about raw, authentic narratives. It gives artists a platform to share their lived experiences, their struggles, their joys, their perspectives on the world. It's a voice for the unheard, a way to tell stories that might otherwise be silenced.
That rawness is definitely something you feel when listening to hip-hop. It's like a direct line to someone's heart and soul.
Right.
Okay, so what else sets hip-hop apart from the rest?
Its incredible ability to coexist and blend with other genres.
Okay.
Hip-hop doesn't shy away from collaboration. It embraces it. You see this fusion with jazz, rock, pop, even classical music.
Oh, wow.
The article mentions some examples like Jay-Z working with rock bands and Kanye West sampling soul music.
Oh, right.
Those are just the tip of the iceberg.
It's like a musical melting pot.
It is.
Constantly pushing boundaries and creating something fresh and new. That collaborative spirit is something I really admire about hip-hop.
Yeah.
And then there's the power of the beat. Let's be real. Hip-hop beats just get you moving.
They do.
There's something undeniable about them.
It's true. DJs are like sonic architects, crafting intricate layers of sound.
Yeah.
They sample from a vast range of sources, manipulating and weaving them together to create those infectious rhythms. It's a technically demanding craft that requires a lot of skill, especially technique like scratching and beat matching.
I've always been fascinated by how DJs can take a bunch of seemingly random sounds and transform them into something so groovy and captivating. It's like magic. Now, the article has this section called 10 Facts About Hip-Hop Every Fan Should Know.
Right.
And I have to admit, even I was surprised by some of them. Are you ready to drop some knowledge on us?
Bring it on. I love digging into the details.
All right. Well, first up, did you know that the very first commercial rap single was Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang?
Oh, yeah?
Released way back in 1979.
Classic.
Can you imagine the impact that must have had introducing rap to a wider audience?
Rapper's Delight was a game changer. It marked a pivotal moment, bringing hip-hop from the streets of the Bronx to the mainstream airwaves. It really opened the door for the genre's explosion in popularity.
It's mind-blowing to think that a single song could have such a ripple effect. Okay, next fun fact, hip-hop is a global movement. It's not just confined to the Bronx anymore. We're talking France, Japan, Brazil.
Wow.
Hip-hop is everywhere.
It's truly a global phenomenon, which is so fascinating to me. And what's even cooler is that each region has put its own unique spin on hip-hop, incorporating local flavors, instruments, and languages. It's a beautiful example of cultural exchange and adaptation.
It's like hip-hop has become a universal language, spoken in different dialects around the world. Okay, here's one that I think speaks to hip-hop's evolution. Graffiti art. It's gone from being seen as vandalism to, in some cases, being displayed in galleries. Talk about a glow-up.
It's incredible, right? What was once considered an act of rebellion is now recognized as a legitimate art form. You have artists like Banksy who have pushed the boundaries, challenging perceptions, and prompting important conversations about art, society, and freedom of expression.
It's a testament to the power of creativity to break down barriers and change the way we see the world. And last but not least, we have to talk about the female pioneers of hip-hop. Women have been a huge part of this movement from the very beginning, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Women have always been integral to hip-hop, both as artists and behind the scenes. From pioneers like MC Lyte and Queen Latifah to modern-day icons like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they've broken barriers, challenged stereotypes, and paved the way for future generations. Their contributions are immeasurable.
It's so important to acknowledge and celebrate their impact. Now, hearing all this about hip-hop's evolution and impact got me thinking, before we started this deep dive, I was curious, how did hip-hop become a part of your life?
Ooh.
How has it shaped your perspective?
Oh, that's a great question. And it actually takes me back because, believe it or not, I wasn't always into hip-hop.
Really? That's surprising to hear. You seem so knowledgeable about it now.
I know, right? But growing up, my musical world was pretty much classical music and folk songs.
Okay.
It wasn't until I moved to the city for college that I really encountered hip-hop.
So what happened? Was it a sudden shift or a gradual discovery?
Well, my college roommate was a huge hip-hop fan. Posters on the walls, music blasting constantly.
Wow.
I couldn't escape it. At first, I'll admit I was a little resistant. It was so different from anything I've ever heard. But then something clicked.
What was it, that aha moment that changed everything?
I started paying attention to the lyrics and realized there was so much depth and complexity there. Stories of struggle, resilience, social commentary. It was like a window into a world I hadn't really known before. And the beats, oh man, the beats were infectious. I found myself nodding along, tapping my feet, and before I knew it, I was hooked.
That's awesome. It's amazing how music can break down those barriers and open us up to new experiences. It sounds like hip-hop became more than just music for you.
Absolutely. It was a cultural education. It taught me about different perspectives, about the power of self-expression, about the importance of community. It broadened my horizons in ways I never could have imagined.
That's so powerful, and it makes me think about how the article encourages everyone to connect with hip-hop on a personal level.
Right.
Whether it's through the music, the dance, the art, there's something there for everyone.
Exactly, and that's part of what makes it so special. It's a culture that embraces individuality and creativity. It gives people a voice, a platform to express themselves authentically without judgment.
That's a really important point. We talk a lot about finding your voice and telling your story.
Yeah.
And it seems like hip-hop really embodies that.
I think so. And that's what makes it so much more than just a genre of music. It's a cultural force that continues to inspire, challenge, and empower people around the world.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this awesome deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. We've seen how hip-hop has evolved over the years, blending with other genres, pushing creative boundaries. So what's next for this cultural powerhouse? What do you think the future holds for hip-hop?
That's a fascinating question. It's hard to predict the future, but one thing is, for sure, hip-hop's spirit of innovation and adaptation means it's always evolving.
Yeah.
I think we'll continue to see exciting collaborations, unexpected fusions of genres, and new voices emerging from all corners of the globe.
More collaborations, more global influences. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see hip-hop merging with classical music in some mind-blowing way.
Yeah.
The possibilities seem endless.
Now that would be something. But I think what's most exciting is the potential for hip-hop to continue amplifying marginalized voices and driving social change. It's always been a platform for activism and resistance, and I believe that will only grow stronger in the future.
You're right. Hip-hop has this incredible power to connect people, to spark conversations, to inspire action. It's more than just music. It's a movement.
Yes.
A force for positive change. Speaking of change and evolution, the article touches upon how hip-hop has become a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really delve into how different cultures have adapted and reinterpreted it. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great point. Hip-hop's global journey is a testament to its adaptability and its ability to resonate with diverse experiences. For example, in France, you have a vibrant hip-hop scene that often incorporates elements of French poetry and social commentary, reflecting the country's unique cultural landscape. In Japan, hip-hop has been embraced and reinterpreted, blending traditional Japanese musical elements with modern beats and lyrical styles. And in South Africa, hip-hop has become a powerful tool for social and political expression, addressing issues of inequality and injustice.
It's fascinating to see how hip-hop has taken root in different parts of the world, evolving and adapting to reflect local cultures and concerns. It's a reminder that music can transcend borders and connect people on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And this cross-cultural exchange is enriching the genre as a whole, creating a global tapestry of sounds, stories, and perspectives.
It's like hip-hop is a constantly evolving language, spoken in different accents and dialects, but with a shared rhythm and spirit.
That's a beautiful way to put it, and it speaks to the enduring power of hip-hop, to connect people, to inspire creativity, and to amplify voices that might otherwise go unheard.
It's been an amazing journey exploring all these facets of hip-hop.
It has.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface, but it's given me a whole new appreciation for the depth and richness of this cultural movement.
I agree. And I think that's the beauty of hip-hop. There's always more to discover, more layers to peel back, more stories to be told.
It makes me wonder about what the article mentioned earlier regarding the technical skill of DJing, especially techniques like scratching and beat matching. Could you break those down a bit further for our listeners?
Of course. Scratching is, well, essentially manipulating a vinyl record on a turntable to create rhythmic or percussive sounds.
Okay.
It involves moving the record back and forth with your hand while using the mixer to control the volume and other effects.
Right.
DJs use scratching to add texture, create unique soundscapes, and even mimic the sounds of other instruments.
So it's more than just spinning records.
Yeah.
There's a real artistry involved.
Absolutely. It takes practice, precision, and a good ear to master scratching techniques. It's like playing an instrument in itself.
I can see how it adds another layer of creativity and expression to DJing.
Right.
What about beat matching? That sounds pretty technical.
Beat matching is the art of syncing the tempos of two different tracks
Okay.
so that their beats align perfectly. This allows DJs to seamlessly transition between songs, creating a continuous flow of music. They use turntables, mixers, and their ears to adjust the speed of each track until they're perfectly in sync.
That sounds challenging. It must take a lot of focus and skill to get it right.
It definitely does. Beat matching requires a deep understanding of rhythm, timing, and the technical aspects of DJ equipment. But when it's done well, it creates a seamless and exhilarating listening experience,
Yeah.
allowing DJs to blend tracks together and create their own unique mixes.
It's amazing to think about all the elements that come together to create the magic of hip-hop. From the raw lyrics and storytelling to the technical wizardry of DJing and the visual art of graffiti. It's a true testament to human creativity and expression.
I couldn't agree more. What's so exciting is that hip-hop is still evolving, pushing boundaries, and incorporating new influences. It's a living, breathing culture that continues to inspire and challenge us.
So the next time you hear a hip-hop track, I hope you'll listen a little deeper, appreciate the artistry, and maybe even feel inspired to find your own rhythm, whether it's on the dance floor, through words, or in the way you express yourself to the world.
Because as we've learned, hip-hop is more than a beat.
Right.
It's a culture, a movement, a reflection of the human experience in all its complexities.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into hip-hop. We hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have.
It's been a pleasure exploring this dynamic and ever-evolving art form with you.
Until next time, keep those headphones on and those minds open. There's a whole world of knowledge waiting to be discovered, and we'll be here to guide you through it.
See you on our next Deep Dive.